Have you ever spent weeks building out content plans, hours filming, posting nonstop, only to find yourself still stuck, working 10-hour days, wondering why your business isn't actually growing? Now, most people think marketing is just a creative endeavor. They post when they feel inspired and they spend money when they feel desperate. And that's why it's so hard. To scale without losing your mind, you need to stop doing marketing and start building a marketing system. A system is simply a machine for producing a specific result, and your marketing machine's result is to generate leads. A lot of people get trapped on the content hamster wheel because they're so focused on getting followers, but that doesn't necessarily equate to sales. In order to get sales, you need leads. And in order to get leads, you need a marketing system. Now, every marketing system has four main components. First, you've got the inputs. This is your raw material, like your data, your ideas, and your content. Then you've got the processes. This is your assembly line, and it's how you turn traffic that comes in into interest and then into a lead. Then you've got the outputs. This is your final product, your qualified leads that your business needs to survive. Most entrepreneurs eventually figure out those first three components, but they almost always miss the fourth one. This is the part that makes the machine smart. And I'm going to show you exactly what that fourth part is and how to build the whole machine from scratch. And I'll be sure to list all the resources and tools I mentioned in this video in the description below. Now, before we build the machine, we need to understand the tap it's attached to. So think of your system as a pipe, and that pipe is attached to a tap. In this case, the tap is where your audience is hanging out. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. And here's the good news. The marketing system I'm showing you how to build today works with every single platform. Any tap, it doesn't matter. The bad news is most people get this wrong and they try to hook their pipe up to too many different taps. But it doesn't fit into more than one tap at a time in the beginning. And then what happens? You get overflow. The water's pouring all over the place. It's spilling on the floor. And worse yet, it's going down other people's pipes that are attached properly and bypassing yours altogether. Now, if you're new here, I'm Sam Ross. I own an agency and I'm the creative director. And I've got to tell you, I've been helping emerging brands dial in their marketing and branding for over a decade now. And I can tell you every time they come to me with a problem, it almost always leads back to their marketing system. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, this is my problem, I don't have a system properly set up, and you'd like help with that, then book a free strategy call with me in the link below, and we can look at what you've got going on and how to fix it. So back to that puddle on the floor. This is really important, and it's going to save you so much time and extra work. If you want your marketing system to work properly, you've got to choose a tap. Don't do what everybody else does, which is throw everything up at the wall, hoping that something sticks. That is not a choice. That is wishful thinking. Be smart about it. Yes, it should feel like something you can and want to do, but it can't be a purely emotional decision. Whichever platform you choose, it's got to be a logical choice made with intention and data. If your audience isn't spending time on the platform in a buying mindset, there's no use choosing it. It doesn't matter if everyone else in the world is having success on it. You've got to do your research and meet your people where they're at, which leads us perfectly into the first component, inputs. This is a combination of market intelligence and creative assets. Market intelligence is your data. It gives you a deep understanding of what your audience wants. Before you film a second of footage or write a post, you need to know things like search intent. What is your audience searching for online and where? You need to know pain points. What keeps them up at night? What are they struggling with? What are they challenged by? You need to know the problem. What is the problem in their life they need fixed now? You also need to know the desire. What do they want? What results are they seeking? What transformation do they want to see happen in their life to improve things? The other piece is your creative assets, and this is what you use to grab them. Your copy, your messaging, your videos, your images, all the things that make up your content. And of course, you need your offer, the initial thing you are inviting them to see or do that brings them into your world. Your creative assets are directly determined by the data you've collected in your market intelligence. You can't build a high-performance machine with low-grade fuel. If you're feeding your machine weak content based on bad or no research, the rest of the assembly line is just processing garbage. So this is where your first investment comes in. Now, you can absolutely start your market intelligence for free, of course. And what I'm about to suggest will yield marketing gold. So I highly recommend adding in this free layer to your system. So what you're going to do is use YouTube search, Google, Reddit, Quora, TikTok, Instagram, and competitor comments to see what people are asking, what they're frustrated by, and what's the specific language they're using to describe their situation. For market intelligence, you're going to need an AI subscription. You've probably already got one, but just in case, you want something like ChatGPT or Gemini, and that brings you into $20 a month. For creative assets, I recommend Canva Pro. It's $18 a month, and this is an indispensable creative design tool. It's the one I use more than anything. I use it every day, all day long. The other investment you need to consider is investing in stock and video images, royalty-free. So this would be something like Adobe Stock at $29.99. So your total monthly investment for component one comes to $67.99. And I got a couple of workarounds for you that I use. An amazing tool I absolutely love for images, video, music, and AI image generation is artist.io. They have a free tier. It's so great. I use it all the time. But here's my secret weapon. The multiple AI subscription thing has gotten completely out of control. So one tool I've recently started experimenting with is called Typing Mine. And what's cool is it lets you access multiple AI models all in one place. So instead of bouncing between ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and all these different platforms, you can use them inside of one interface. But here's the best part. Instead of paying $20 a month here and $20 a month there, and then running into message caps and usage limits, you only pay for what you use. Personally, I love the freedom. I prefer ChatGPT for strategy and structure, and I like Gemini for creative writing and script flow. You're not locked into one model and a bunch of subscriptions stacking up every month. So that brings us to component two, the process. This is your funnel. It's where you map out the journey from a stranger seeing a post or a thumbnail or a story to becoming a lead. Every single task happens in a specific, repeatable, logical order. If you don't have this mapped out, you're a manual laborer trying to carry your leads across the finish line on your back by hand. So to build a professional assembly line, you're going to have to invest something at some point pretty early on. Again, you can get it done for free, but you're going to hit a lot of limitations and headaches pretty quickly, so expect to upgrade to paid. First off, you're going to need something to build your landing pages. Then you're going to need something for your lead magnets so you can build your list. And you're going to need a place to run your email campaigns from and manage that list. You're also going to need a simple checkout page if you're charging for low to mid-ticket products and services. All right, so there are so many options out there that we don't have enough time to get into all of them today, but I want to go over the two paths in front of you so you can start making the right decision for you. On the one hand, you can do everything a la carte. And the good news is you're already paying for Canva Pro if you're listening to me, which is, in my opinion, a non-negotiable. You've got to have Canva to create all of your designs, including your lead magnets. So you're going to also need an email service provider like MailChimp, Drip, Constant Contact, and my personal favorite is Flowdesk. It's beautiful, it's very easy, and it's great value. The first paid tier is $19 a month for your first 1,000 contacts. Compare that to MailChimp, which charges you the same amount for only $500. Every email marketing platform, regardless of which one you use, has free tiers to get you started. And this is great if you're in the early days of building a list. Just be careful when you're choosing, because a lot of these platforms, they hook you for free. And as soon as your list starts growing, that is when they get you. And this happens a lot faster than you might think, and it starts to get expensive. I have actually moved all of my clients over to Flowdesk because they were locked into these ridiculous pricing tiers, and it ended up saving them a ton of money. So for basic funnel building, like a simple landing page or for a lead magnet or even a low ticket offer, you could build this out in your email marketing platform. Almost all of them at this point offer landing pages. Just know that they're limited. There's also a really cool landing page builder called Card, and they have a free tier, and it's pretty great for doing individual pages, and you can even get your funnel built for 20 bucks. Now, if you go the a la carte route, you need something in the background to connect all of these software services. All of these platforms have to communicate to each other, and you're gonna use Zapier for that, and that starts at $20 a month. All right, so that's it for the a la carte route, which you can get done for a price tag of roughly $65 per month. Then you've got your all-in-one option. So let's talk about that. You've got a lot of choices here as well. You've got Kartra, Kajabi, Go High Level, and my personal favorite, ClickFunnels. I know there's more out there, but those are kind of the big players. You just have to go research and see which one is best for you. I recommend ClickFunnels because it's $97 a month. It's got everything that you need, and it replaces like 5 different tools. It hosts your landing pages, it delivers your lead magnets, and it runs the automated email sequences that nurture a stranger into a lead while you're sleeping. And I'll leave the link for ClickFunnels in the description below. So the all-in-one price tag comes to, let's say, $97 if you use ClickFunnels. Kartra, Kajabi, Go High Level, they all have entry-level prices that are about the same. So let's just go with the $97. It's a bit more per month over the a la carte option, but if you're utilizing all the tools, the convenience of one-stop building is so much easier and less complicated. Plus, when something goes wrong, and it always does, it's much easier to isolate and fix it in the all-in-one platform instead of like trying to go from platform to platform in the a la carte and trying to figure out exactly what the problem is. So that brings us to component 3. This is your output, and this is the product your machine is actually making. In a marketing machine, the only output that matters is a qualified lead. This is someone who's given you their contact information in exchange for your value. And this is where the lead magnet you built in step 2 actually pays off. They've moved from the tap, social media, which is a borrowed audience that you can get cut off from at any time. And now they're inside your pipe, your business, and they're part of your audience in your ecosystem. The output is a clean, organized list of people who are actually ready to buy or through nurturing, become ready. So for component 3, there's no additional monthly fees. You've already made that investment in components 1 and 2. But if you sell anything at the end of your output, like a low ticket offer or a digital product, then you're looking at a transactional fee. There's so many different platforms with this as well, from Square and Stripe and PayPal. I mean, they all roughly take the same, about 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction, but it's worth hunting around. You might be able to find some better rates out there because new ones are popping up all the time. Again, you don't pay this monthly, but you need to account for this in your profit margins. That brings us to the 4th component, and this is where most business owners get stuck or they skip it altogether: the feedback loop. Not all leads are created equal. If your machine is spitting out 100 leads a day, but none of them can afford your service or they aren't the right fit, you've got a problem in your pipe, and most businesses don't know how to fix it. So what do? They try harder, they post more, they jump around to different social media platforms. They think it's the software. Oh, well, you know what? Everyone else is on Go High Level and I'm on ClickFunnels, so that must be the problem. That's not the problem. This leads to burnout, overwhelm, and frustration. Trust me, I've been there, and it's where most of my clients are when they come find me. This is not the time to do more. This is the time where you need to become a scientist and a doctor so you can effectively diagnose the problem. Now, this is a really big topic and we can't cover it in one video, but I want to give you some strategies to point you in the right direction and keep in mind as you're building your system. It all starts with your numbers. Once you focus on your numbers, everything in your business will change. You've got to start tracking things like click-through rate and your cost per lead. You look at your input from component 1 and ask which piece of content had the highest click-through rate and what was the quality of those leads. More importantly, which content tanked. Stop making content on that topic and double down on the content that's working. Maybe it was that hook about being boring to get more done, or that video on mastering meditation in 5 minutes a day. I know it sounds obvious, but I cannot tell you how many people keep trying different ways to make content that is not working work. And if you've ever had any experience running ads, I can also tell you the minute an ad is not working, turn it off. Don't wait and see. Don't put more money into it. Just immediately turn it off and move on. But what if it's not a content problem? What if it's a problem with the funnel? Maybe you've got friction. Maybe there's too many steps and people abandon the process. It could be that the tech isn't firing properly and people are ending up on dead pages. Happens a lot more often than you might think. Diagnosing your funnel is a science, and it can get pretty complex if you don't know where to look and what to look for. What's wrong with my funnel is the number one question Russell Brunson, the co-founder of ClickFunnels, gets asked over and over. He'll tell you that himself. If you're watching this and you're at the stage in your business where you know you've got a problem in your pipe, but you're not sure where to look or how to fix your funnel, then book a free strategy call with me and I can help you diagnose the problem and figure out how to fix it. So let's quickly talk about the fees involved with component 4. The good news is you don't need money to optimize. Whether you go a la carte or all-in-one, stats are included on all software services. They track which page converted better, how many emails were opened, who clicked through and how many times, and where people abandoned the funnel, all of that stuff. So $0 extra for that. Google Analytics and YouTube Analytics, also free, and they provide the raw data of where people come from. But that doesn't mean there's no hidden cost. The real fee here is your time and the mental overhead of setting aside time each week, every week, once a week, you've got to look at your numbers. This is what will make you a business owner and not just a content creator. The cost of optimization is not optimizing and burning through time and money, but software is only half the battle. Let's talk about investing in a dedicated hardware layer to keep your workflow clean and independent. So here is what I recommend as your baseline physical gear layer. If you try to run your entire production setup off of a phone, you will hit a wall fast. 4K video is huge. The files eat up space immediately. It'll slow down your device, and organizing files via cloud transfers and phone cables is a massive bottleneck. It takes forever and it's always glitchy. Getting a standalone dedicated camera changes the game. You don't need to drop thousands of dollars on a brand new body and new lenses. The secondhand market is full of incredible high value gear. So your first option that I recommend is a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'm using that right now, and you will see these listed on Marketplace for wild prices like $67. I wouldn't mess around with those. I mean, they're probably a scam or broken or just it's going to be a waste of your time. A legitimate, reasonable used price for a functional Osmo Pocket 3 sits in the $200 to $400 range. Another option is still the Sony ZV-E10. This camera has really held its value over the years because it's a standard mirrorless workhorse with interchangeable lenses. So you can expect to pay a bit more for this tier, and it's usually going to be in the $400 to $500 used range, and you can get a kit lens with that. And this gives you that premium blurry background, the boho depth of field look that instantly elevates production quality. Now here's the Marketplace golden rule, just as a, consider this your PSA. Always buy local, meet the seller in a safe public place, test the camera and make sure it's doing what it needs to do for you, and do not hand over any cash or digital payments until the item is physically in your hands. So let's talk about audio. A mic is like a pair of shoes. Skip now to save money and you will be hurting later. So do yourself a favor and get a good mic. People will not mess with content that sounds bad. Clean audio is easily 50% of audience retention. I happen to love the DJI mic mini system right here. And right now you can actually grab the whole system, and it includes 2 mics and the receiver and the charging case for $79. Then you've got storage. High quality video assets will slow your computer down just like your phone, making it sluggish, making it just deteriorate over time. And this will make your life a living hell. So dump your raw footage directly onto an external hard drive to keep your workstation and your workflow running fast and smooth. There is a place called thegiantwarehouse.com, and it is legit. I checked it out. It has a massive 10 terabyte external drive for $58. Like I said, the site's legit. That's an incredible deal. So hopefully that deal is still up by the time you're watching this and you can go snag it. Now, if you can swing it right now, just invest in the gear that you actually want so you don't have to upgrade twice. If the budget is tight, I get it. Find a temporary option that you can make do with today. make some revenue, put some money aside, and you can upgrade the hardware layer later. So this brings your total marketing system investment to roughly $800. Now you can do this for less, or you can do it for a lot more depending on which hardware you go with and if you use an all-in-one software service versus a la carte. Either way, you now know how to put your marketing system in place. And this is how you optimize your $800 investment. You aren't just spending money to get followers. You're buying data so you can generate real leads and revenue for your business. Think about it this way. Every dollar tells you a story about what your audience actually wants. If you listen to that story, your machine gets more efficient every single day. The goal is to go slow now so you can move fast later. Map your system, track your data, and once the machine is processing the water and the pipe is clear, that is when you turn up the tap. And that is how you scale without burning out. Now, if you found this helpful and you need help with your marketing machine, book a free strategy call with me in the description below. Also, be sure to check out my brand audit on the shocking collapse of Deepak Chopra and Peter Attia's brands in light of the Epstein files. Let's see how their marketing machines are holding up under the pressure. And I will see you soon.